Most firefighters are trained to react to emergencies. But when it comes to your mental emergencies or stress management, could you actually get ahead of the game? Could you become so resilient that nothing phases you anymore? The answer, my friends, is hell yes, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Welcome, hotshots, to Firepower X. This is a place where we help you stay one step ahead of stress as a firefighter. My name is Jess. I'm a former firefighter and a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner. What the heck is that? That's a fancy way for saying I'm a personal trainer for your mind. I want to be your secret weapon to help you outsmart stress and become a total beast at work and at home. Today, I want to talk about stress management, proactive versus reactive strategies. There are so many reactive options for us as firefighters. There's EAP, there's peer support, there's counseling, there's all of this stuff that's offered to us after the fact, after we are literally drowning and our back is against the wall. But I want to talk about proactive strategies. Just like with fire prevention, when we started doing fire prevention as an industry, we got ahead of structure fires. So much so that, we don't really get that many of them anymore, which is really sad for most of us who really love the fire side of things. But when you get ahead of the problem, you are in control. If you wait until your back is against the wall, it doesn't feel as good. So I really want to talk about today proactive ways that we can manage our stress. Stress management comes down to the stimulus response cycle. Stimulus response, stimulus response. Something happens, we react. Something happens, we react, we respond. It's a back and forth. Your way of managing stress is a response. It is a response. Think about how you react when something ruffles your feathers. I'm guessing if you took a really objective look at yourself, you would see a pattern. Maybe you get upset, maybe you withdraw a little bit, maybe you have a hard time sleeping, whatever it is, I'm guessing that however you respond, it's actually a pattern. You've done it many times before. It's almost automatic. You don't even think about it. That's because it's a habit. Your stress response is a habit, and you're going to see a pattern. And what happens is these habits form. We create these habits in life to respond to life. They're a strategy. Emotions and behaviors are strategies. We use them to try and get what we want. And so they get reinforced so many times as we go along in life that they become a habit. They become like this avatar or version of ourselves that comes out to deal with life in response to the stimulus, the thing that has happened. Stimulus happens, and then, suddenly this version of us comes out to deal with it. That's what your stress response is. It's just a habit. So now that you know that, the key is to train a new habit. The key is to create a new avatar of yourself. And it's way easier than you think. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this because it doesn't have to be hard at all. How do you want to react? That's the first thing. How do you want to respond to stressful events, people, situations in your life? Get clear on that first. Do you want to be stoic? Do you want to be unmoved? Do you want to be wise? Do you just want to sit back and observe? How do you want to respond? Once you define that, you practice. You practice that response. Every time the stimulus comes up, you practice that response. And you keep practicing until it becomes second nature. But what we do in taking a proactive approach to this is that we don't wait. We practice it all the time. We practice being this person all the time, whether this stimulus is triggering us to respond this way or not. We get ahead of it. We practice it so often and so regularly that it becomes a dominant part of who we are and how we respond. This is how we do it. This is how we get ahead of the game. Practice being that person. Practice being that person over and over again. How do we actually do this? You're going to say, well, Jess, it's super simple, but is it easy? That's a different strategy. How do we make it easy? We know what to do. We know that we create this new version of ourselves. We continue to practice it until it becomes second nature so that this version comes out no matter what is happening. But how do we make it easy? We make it easy with a powerful motivator. If you've ever heard Simon Sinek talk about finding your why you do certain things is almost as important as how you do them. And knowing why do I get angry all the time? If you look at it Maybe that's one of your ways to manage stress. You just get pissed off all the time. You look at it, you're like, well, my dad got pissed off and I'm just being pissed off because he was pissed off and that's what happened in our family. But I'm my own person and I want to do something different. This isn't helping me at work to get pissed off with people, so I want to do something different. Find a good reason to change. Find your motivator. Dig into why the heck do you want to be a different avatar of yourself, a different version? What is going to light a fire under your butt? For me, I used to have a habit of quitting things. Anything that was hard, I would quit. And so that pattern got reinforced. That version of me just kept coming out. Anything that was hard, I would physically quit it, if it was a job or a relationship or whatever, until I was ready to quit life. That habit got so ingrained and so effective, I was ready to unalive myself. And I spent years in these dark, nasty places where I was contemplating how I was going to do it, what I was going to do. And you know what that did for me? It motivated me not to go back there. It motivated me to change. That lit a fire under my ass. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to that place in my mind anymore. I don't want to manage stress by thinking about quitting whatever it is and destroying everything that I work towards all the time. I don't want to do that anymore. That suffering motivated me to change. That was the fire under my butt. And you know what I did? I created a stress-free version of myself. I said, I don't care what happens. I don't care what stimulus happens. I don't care how hard life gets. I'm going to respond calmly, stoically, and just be like, that's interesting. And knowing that I'll just take one step at a time and work through whatever happens. That's what everyone else does. We just take one step at a time, take it as it comes at us. I practiced being that person until she became second nature, and now I don't have stress. I do not experience stress. I don't have to manage it because I'm like, okay, that's interesting. When something comes up that I didn't expect, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna roll with it and see what I can get out of it. It's not worth it to me to ever go back to that place in my mind where I was suffering so hardcore. So what is your motivator for change? Why do you want to manage your stress? Who do you actually want to be? Instead of just being a version of yourself that life programmed you to be, that your family programmed you to be, that culture programmed you to be, that your gender programmed you to be, like, who do you actually want to be? Dig into that why. Find a good why, a good reason to change. And that's when it becomes easy to change, literally cold turkey overnight. That's when you can do it because you've decided you're not going to be that old version of yourself anymore. It's not good enough for you. Even if it starts to bubble up automatically when the stimulus comes, that old response, you put your foot down. You're like, no, I may be feeling this, but you know how I'm going to respond? The way I damn well please. I know this was helpful to you. Drop a comment below if you would like to engage with me. I'm happy to engage with you or answer any questions you have. And if you want to learn more ways to become exactly the person that you want to be, exactly the type of first responder you want to be, come join us over at Firepower Act. Join our community where we talk about mental fitness and mental performance. We have regular content, live coaching opportunities, and peer networking so that you can do just that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.